Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. My name is Jordan. This is a 50-minute Vinyasa flow designed to help with digestion. So when I say digestion, maybe that means a physical digestion, massaging of the internal organs through twists and compression, or maybe it means more of an energetic digestion, a taking in, a processing of your external environment, of different things in your life, simply by coming home to the depth and quality of your breath, using this as your compass, your North Star, to guide you through the unique and beautiful way that only you can move on your mat. That being said, this is a very rooted practice. So if you're familiar with the plexuses that make their way, the bundles of nerves up the length of your spine, from a spiritual or metaphysical standpoint, maybe we are balancing our Muladhara, our root chakra, which when out of balance can present as feelings of insecurity, of not belonging, of maybe digestive issues. Similarly, as we move into summer, which is where I am in time and space, just before the summer solstice, I thought it would be a great time to incorporate some Svadhisthana, our sacral chakra, and our Manipura, our third chakra work. So we'll be kind of making our way up the metaphysical spine, if you will. No props are required for this practice. However, if you're like me and you want to have the option to give yourself the gift of space at any time throughout this practice, feel free to grab a couple blocks, place them on either side of your mat near the top of your space. We will be coming into our half split, our lizard, malasana. So if you know that you like to have some props available, blanket, blocks, bolsters, pillows, go ahead and reach for those things, set up your space. No rush to get there. We'll also be coming into our saddle pose towards the end of class. So if you have a bolster, a long pillow, or maybe a thick blanket that you can roll up like a little burrito, that'll work great. You just go ahead and place that off to one side. And we'll meet in a reclined shape of your choosing. Maybe that's flat back, kind of a Shavasana shape. Or for some support in the lumbar spine, maybe you take the feet wide, knees knocked together. Option to take the hands to either side, palms face up, or maybe they rest on the body. And come home to the depth and quality of your breath. Notice without judgment, without changing. Notice the way the earth comes up to meet you without judgment. Maybe we can carry this notion with us as we move throughout our practice today. We'll take a cleansing breath in here. Inhale through the nose. Maybe take an extra sip of air at the top. Pause. Retain the breath. Embrace this fullness. Exhale out the mouth, sigh it out, let it go. Maybe take an extra exhale at the bottom and embrace this empty. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Good. Find one more with your own breath, your own rhythm. And we'll find a good morning stretch. Reach up long, toes down low, point and flex, open and scrunch. Big stretch, big breath. On your exhale, hug the right knee in towards the chest. Always an option to keep this left knee bent. And begin to rock the right knee side to side, compressing the right hip crease, maybe even massaging the internal organs here, taking some deep belly breaths. One more deep breath in. On an exhale, right knee up and over to the left for your twist. Always an option to bring something beneath the right knee. As you wring out the spine, take a deep breath in here. Maybe gaze falls to one side or stays neutral. Feel the pull of gravity with every exhale. Find an exhale wherever you've landed. And on your inhale, draw the right knee back through center. Moving into a reclined tree, right knee bends, sole of the right foot to the inside of the left leg. Maybe you bring support beneath the right knee to take a little extra stress out of the right hip crease. And pause to notice. Maybe there's a sensation, a temperature. Good. Right leg reaches long to meet the left. One more. Full body stretch. Maybe arch the spine. Shine the ribs to the sky. Exhale, left knee to chest. Rock the left knee side to side. Maybe decide if you want to have this right knee bent, or maybe sprout the right leg long in our half seed shape. Take some deep breaths here. Good. One more deep breath in. Fill all the way to the low abdomen. Exhale, left knee up and over to the right for your twist. Allow the gaze to fall wherever feels most comfortable to you today. Take one more deep belly breath here. Exhale, let it go. Your inhale brings you back through center, reclined tree on the second side, sole of the left foot inside of the right leg. Maybe the arms are spread wide like branches. Left leg long to meet the right. Deep breath in from fingertips to toes. Good morning stretch. Maybe this time we roll out the wrists. On your exhale, both knees to chest. Rock side to side, hip to hip. Option to roll to one side, make your way to a half plank position, or maybe we rock and roll up and down the length of the spine as many times as feels good to you today, as fast or as slow as you'd like to go. Eventually rolling over the feet, stepping back to our half plank, knees grounded, shoulders over the wrists. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pin the elbows back like little grasshopper legs, lower all the way to the abdomen, setting up for your sphinx pose. Root down to the tops of the feet, slide the palms forward, press into the forearms, lift the heart, maybe gaze forward as we lengthen the crown towards the sky, maintaining this connection, this anchoring of the low body, active in the core, lifting from the heart here. Good. Bring awareness to the space between the shoulder blades. Allow it to draw a line to the sternum. Maybe closing down the eyes to envision this connection. One more deep breath in. Exhale, release. Tuck the toes, press up and back, hips to heels. Find a child's pose with the toes tucked. Option to tense up onto the fingertips, bring support beneath the hips, the chest, or the forehead. Maybe taking the legs hips width, belly rests on the top of the thighs. On your inhales, breathe deep. Allow the abdomen to be massaged by the compression on the tops of the thighs. As you claw into all 10 toes, maybe get a nice foot stretch. Good. Find another inhale, press into the fingerprints. Exhale, roll through, think cat pose. As you draw chin to chest, shift shoulders over the wrists. Option to untuck the toes, root down to the tops of the feet. Inhale, soften the abdomen down, roll the shoulders back, shine the heart forward. Cow pose, send the hips to the heels. Good. Exhale, roll through to your cat shape, shoulders over the wrists, dome through the back body. Inhale for cow, send the hips to the heels. Option to veer off the railroad tracks a bit here as you move through your cow-cat waves, maybe dipping one shoulder and then the other, or drawing circles with the tail. Take what you need and come home to your breath. Using this opportunity to get into all those little nooks and crannies in your spine and bring a little bit more space to the abdomen. Good. Even it out. Come home to a neutral spine. On an inhale, kick the right toes back. Exhale, right toes up and over to the left. Maybe peek over at the right heel. Take a deep breath into the side body. Exhale, right knee bends up and in. Arch the spine, chin to chest. Right knee to chest. And step the right foot forward. Low lunge, root to rise here. Pull the right hip back as you root down to the top of the left foot. On an inhale, lengthen. Maybe reaching palms to the sky, hands at the heart or hands on the hips. Maybe even interlacing the hands on the top of the right thigh. And we'll find our foundation here. Option to heel toe the right foot out for a wider stance. Or maybe inch the right heel forward. Maintaining this lifting up and out of the lumbar spine by knitting the ribs in and squeezing the inner thighs together, almost like we're holding a block there. Take another inhale, lengthen. Exhale, right hand, right thigh, tilt to the right. Take your left ribs and fill them with big, beautiful breath. Good. One more inhale here. Lift the left ribs. Exhale. Back of the left hand comes to the outside of the right knee. Right fingertips come to the right hip. Roll the shoulder back. Maybe gaze over the right shoulder for a twist. Staying up tall here, hips level. Maintain that connection to the earth and the squeezing to an invisible midline. Good. One more full cycle of breath here. On your inhale, come back through center, Anjanasana. Press the palms together, maybe gaze up at the thumbs, find that sphinx heart. Exhale, release, frame the right leg, half splits, right hip pulls back, right heel scooches forward. Maybe we come up tall on a block. Option to find some organic movement here, flossing through the right hip, or tick-tocking the right toe side to side. Wherever you are, keep the right foot flexed and spread through the right toes. We'll pause for a moment of stillness here. Full cycle of breath. Dig the right heel into the earth as you pull the right hip back. Good. Option to pause here or root down through the left hand. Inhale for a twist. Right arm reaches, hips stay level. Good. Find another inhale. Spin the left elbow crease to look forward. On your exhale, right hand swoops back and down. Bend into the right knee. Tuck the left toes. Lift the knee and step forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Find a dangle here. Deep bend in the knees. Maybe you shake the head yes and no. Or even interlace the hands at the base of the skull. Finding a little traction. Only if it feels appropriate for your cervical spine. Good. Release any binds you may have opted for. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Slide the palms up to the tops of the thighs, little grasshopper like elbows. Exhale, bend the knees, hinge and fold. Inhale, root to rise. Press the palms together. Reach up tall, high mountain. Maybe find a baby back bend. Think long puppy belly here. Press the hips forward. Find that sphinx heart lifting from the thoracic spine. And on an exhale, hands to the heart, Anjali Mudra. Good. Pause to notice. Maybe even close down the eyes. And see how it feels to be in the process of cultivating equilibrium. Maybe even lift the toes. Feel into all corners of each foot. Good. On an inhale, release the palms, reach up tall, flutter the eyes open, press the hips forward, lengthen up and out of your lumbar spine, baby back bend. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Good. Inhale, slide the palms to the shins, long spine. Exhale, fold, step the feet back to plank, knees up or down. Find an inhale, lengthen. And on your exhale, lower all the way to the abdomen. Setting up again for Sphinx pose. Slide the palms forward. Inhale, lift. Anchor through the low body. Chin parallel with the earth. Option to pause here. Or maybe we take the palms a little bit wider. Find an inhale. And on your exhale, press into the palms, lengthen through the arms. Lift for seal. Maybe gaze slightly up. Mindful of anything that could be described as painful or pinching in the low back. Stay rooted in the tops of the feet and the pubic bone. Good. One more full breath in wherever you've landed. Exhale, lower, release. Come all the way down to the abdomen. And we'll find our crocodile pose. So stacking the palms on top of each other. Bring the forehead to rest on the back of the hands. And come home to the depth and quality, the sound of your breath. This is your compass. This is how you navigate your practice, by following the depth and quality of your breath without judgment. And from here, we'll find our diaphragmatic breath, breathing all the way to the low abdomen. Exhaling through the nose or the mouth, whatever feels most supportive to you today. Taking the deepest breaths you've taken all day. Fill the low abdomen just below the diaphragm with air and release. Find 2 or 3 more with your own breath, your own cadence. Good. Slide the palms under the shoulders. Begin to lift the chest and press back up to your tabletop shape. And we'll find our low lunge sequence on the second side. Inhale, kick the left toes back. Maybe rock and roll on the ball of that foot. Exhale, left toes up and over to the right. Maybe gaze over the right shoulder. On an exhale, left knee bends up into the chest. Step the left foot forward. Inhale, low lunge. On your exhale, knit the ribs in. Find your foundation. Maybe we want to scooch the left heel forward, or maybe take it wide and root down through the top of the right foot. Find this opposing balance between pressure in the bottom of the left foot and anchoring in the top of the right. Almost like we're squeezing our everything to a midline here. Maybe activating that mula bandha, our root block. Good. Find another deep breath in. Exhale, left palm, left thigh. Press into the left thigh as you gently tilt to the left. You don't have to go too far for it to get kind of spicy in that right hip. Pull the right thumb back gently, maybe gaze up. Lift the right ribs. Think upward motion. On an exhale, twist to the left. Back of the right hand comes to the outside of the left knee. Left fingertips to the left hip. Roll the left shoulder back. Maybe gaze over and back. Wherever feels comfortable for your neck. And pause for a few breaths here. Finding stability in our base. as we massage the internal organs simply by breathing in our twist. Good. Find an exhale. Inhale brings you back through center. Press the palms together. Maybe gaze up at the thumbs. Lift the rib cage. Exhale, fold forward. Half splits. Left hip pulls back. Scooch the left heel forward to keep right knee stacked under the right hip. And maybe we reach for a block. Tick-tock the left heel. Maybe floss the left hip. Take what you need. Always an option to keep a tiny bend in the left knee. This is a great shape for sciatica. So if that's something that's a part of your life, maybe half splits can also become a part of your life. We'll come home to a moment of stillness here. Dig the left heel into the earth. Flex fiercely through the left toes and spread the left toes. Notice how this may impact sensation. And find a pulling from the left hip to the left heel. Good. Option to pause here, embracing this spice, or root down through the right hand. Inhale, lift your left arm high for a twist, keeping the hips level. Exhale, left hand swoops back and down, bend into the left knee, tuck the right toes, lift the knee, left foot steps back to meet the right. Maybe this time we try out our plank shape. Find an inhale, shift forward, high on the tippy toes. Exhale, pin the elbows back, lower all the way to the abdomen. Setting up for Bhujangasana, Cobra pose, slide the palms back in line with the ribs. Root down through the low body. Allow the breath to travel like a wave, almost from the tips of the toes through the crown of the head. On an inhale, lift. Allow the lungs blooming with air to be what lifts you here, and the muscles of your back body, maybe we hover the palms. Exhale, release. Good. Tuck the toes. Press through to your tabletop shape. Take a deep breath in. On your exhale, hovering table. Hover the knees any amount off the earth. Good. Holding for 3, 2, and 1. Deep breath in. Exhale, hips up, high downward dog. Take what you need here. Maybe pedal it out. Always an option to keep a bend in the knees. Wherever you are, press into all 10 fingerprints. Shine the elbow creases to look forward. One more deep breath in here. And a long breath out. Good. On an inhale, lift the right leg any amount. Hips stay neutral. So we're lifting from the right inner thigh. On an exhale, right knee to chest, shift forward. And step the right foot forward. Ground the left heel. And inhale, rise for warrior 1. Maybe press the palms together. Gaze up at the thumbs. Inhale here. Lengthen from the waist. Keeping the hips neutral. Good. Feel the legs active and engaged here. One more deep breath in. On your exhale, cactus the elbows and interlace the hands at the tail. If that doesn't feel good in your body today, feel free to take opposite forearms or keep hands at the heart. The choice is yours. Roll the shoulders back and down. Gaze slightly up. Take a deep breath in. On your exhale, launch for warrior 3. Lifting the left heel any amount. Tilting the head forward and the left foot back. Finding length versus height. Find another deep breath in. Long breath out. Good. Inhale, left foot meets the right. Release your bind. Chair pose, biceps by the ears. Exhale, bring the left, back of the left hand to the outside of the right knee. And we'll find our twist here, bringing our right fingertips to the right hip. Find an inhale, lengthen from crown to tail, draw the tailbone down. Good. Exhale, left toe step back. Lift to high lunge, open twist to the right. Good. Swoop the right hand back and down. Ground the left heel. Come home to warrior one. Maybe gaze up with the thumbs. Exhale, release. Plant the palms. Step the right toes back. Lower belly to cobra. Maybe you like to try upward dog. Find your flow and take what you need. Coming home to downward facing dog. Good. Finding that flow on the second side. Root down through the right heel. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step the left foot through. Inhale, rise for warrior one. Press the palms together, lift. Grounding through the right heel. Keeping the left hip pulling back. Pause for a few breaths here. Good. One more inhale here. Exhale, cactus the elbows. Interlace the hands. Opposite thumb on top. So whichever one feels a little funky. Roll the shoulders back and down. Lift the head, open the throat. Exhale, shift forward and launch any amount for warrior three. Turning the right toes down to keep the hips level. Finding a tiny speck to focus on, your drishti. One more inhale. Exhale, chair pose, break free. Right foot meets the left, biceps by the ears. Exhale for your twist, right hand outside of the left thigh, keeping the knees in line with each other. Bring the left fingertips to the hip, roll the shoulder back. Find an inhale here. And on your exhale, shift the weight to the left foot, right toes step back. Find your high lunge, open twist to the left. Exhale, left hand swoops back and down as we drop the right heel. Warrior one. Exhale, release, plant the palms, step the left toes back, and find your flow. Maybe hovering for Chaturanga Dandasana, lifting knees and thighs off the mat for upward dog, and we'll meet in our downward facing dog. Pedal it out, take what you need. Maybe find a cleansing breath here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth, let it go. Good. On your next inhale, come up high on the tippy toes, soft knees, crisscross walk all the way to the top of your space. Maybe rolling through the bottoms of the feet. Meeting in a forward fold with the toes out, heels in, wider than hips width. Maybe bend into one or both knees. Always an option to bring the earth up to you with a block. Find another inhale here. And an exhale, come back through center, bend the knees, sink the hips for Mulasana. Maybe you take a block or a pillow beneath the sit bones. Find length in the spine. Option to keep the hands at the heart. Or maybe they're on the earth for support with the heels lifted. Come home to the natural rhythm of your breath. Plant a seed at the base of your spine. Beautiful work, my friends. Find another full cycle of breath here. Good. Release, plant the palms, step the left toes back. Keep the right foot where it is, and we'll move into our lizard shape. Option to stay up tall, rock and roll on the ball of the left foot. Maybe eventually we sink the left knee down. Option to pause here. Maybe bring some support underneath the front of the left hip crease, or even taking a block underneath the right hammy there. That's also a nice option. And pause for a few breaths in your lizard. Maybe we'd like to turn the right toes out, come to the outside edge of the right foot, find a little twist here, taking the right palm just to guide the right knee out, not too much pressure here. And finding just a tiny bit of leverage to gaze over the right shoulder. Maybe so much so that we can bend into the left knee and swoop the right hand forward, up and back to bind with the left foot for your quad stretch. Take a few breaths, inhaling to create space, and exhaling to let the hips be heavy. I can already hear my tummy rumbling. This digestive yoga is no joke. Take another cycle of breath here. And release. Mindful not to slingshot your back leg. Bring the palms back through center. Tuck the left toes, lift the knee. Step the left foot forward. Sink the hips once more for your malasana. Take an inhale here, lengthen. Exhale, plant the palms, right toes step back. Come into your lizard shape on the second side. Again, always an option to find some organic movement. I have a little sciatica, and sometimes this helps. Flossing through my left hip in a lizard shape, or maybe even coming up high on a block. When you're up tall, lizard feels complete. Maybe we sink the right knee. And again, maybe we'd like to bring something to pad the knee, like a pillow, a blanket, or even a stuffed animal. And come home to your breath. And you're welcome to pause here, finding heaviness in the hips, creating space all the way down to the low abdomen, or maybe we come to the outside edge of the left foot, gently find a little bit of pressure with the left palm and the left thigh. Maybe we gaze over the left shoulder. Maybe we reach the left hand for the right foot. And come home to your breath. Keeping in mind the most valuable shape you can make is the one that provides the most ease of your breath in your body. There is a balance here, a balancing act between effort and ease. And in Vinyasa, traditionally, it is to place shapes in a special way. So we are placing the parts of our body in a special way to find that balance of sthira and sukha, effort and ease. When this feels complete, release, mindful not to Dennis the Menace, that right foot back, unravel back through center, tuck the right toes, lift the knee, and step forward. Again, find your malasana, sink the hips, deep breath in, sweep the breath from tail to crown. Exhale out the mouth, let go of some heat. Good, and super fancy yoga move here. We go ahead and plop our booty bones back, maybe a little bit more graceful than I just did. It's your practice. Do what calls to you. We'll find a little caterpillar shape or a seated forward fold. Maybe we sit up on a pillow. Maybe we peel the flesh away from the sit bones. Always an option to keep a bend in the knees. And if you'd like to take your bolster or your blanket roll, place it over the tops of the legs, that may be a nice option. On an inhale, sweep the hands up overhead. Exhale, hinge and fold any amount. Maybe we rest the belly on a bolster. Maybe we bring a block under the forehead. Allow the spine to be restful, maybe rounded. Maybe interlace the palms. Take a little bit of effort out of holding ourselves in space. And pause for 5 full cycles of breath here. Bring a little bit of energy to the fingertips, to the toes. Plant the palms, slow and steady. Bring the head back over the heart, over the pelvis. Ooh, yeah, that feels really nice. That's probably my favorite shape. right there. And we'll take our bolster or your blanket roll, whatever you got going on, place it behind you, and we'll move into our saddle shape. And we'll hold this for a little bit longer than the rest of our shapes, mindful that the body is warm. So less is always going to be more with incorporating longer holds at the end of your vinyasa practice. And we'll take our left foot, shifting the hips to the right, bend your left knee, and bring the top of the left foot to the earth, okay? If this does not feel good on your knees, maybe you take a blanket first and place it over the calves, starting in kind of a Virasana base or a hero shape. And then we bend the right foot, right knee. Bring the tops of the feet to the earth. And maybe we notice here that we'd like to lift up, find a blanket to place over the thighs, over the calves, amazing option, or even sit up tall on a block. And from here, we lengthen, sit up tall, maybe roll the shoulders back, find that sphinx heart, and walk the palms back slightly. And then begin to gently ease in while lengthening the tail forward. So we're not putting too much pressure on our low back. So we're not pinching there. Very important to maybe even lift the seat slightly and lengthen the tail towards the backs of the knees. And over time, if we'd like, maybe we come down to the forearms. Maybe we take a block underneath the back of the head, laying on top of our bolster. Giving yourself as much support as your body calls for today. There is no end game. There's no goalpost shape here. Just whatever feels the most comfortable to you. Maybe the hands have to work a bit to hold the torso up. That is perfectly okay. Maybe you come up onto fists. And wherever you are, take deep breaths into the low abdomen. This is a great shape, especially for a morning practice. So it brings all this beautiful space to the digestive organs that have been sleepy all night. And our last option, maybe we reach the arms up overhead, lengthen through the chest and the heart. And we'll pause here in whichever saddle shape feels the best to you and your body. Keeping in mind, you can always make an adjustment. You can always come out. This is your practice. Honor your body and your effort and your breath. Find one or two more full cycles of breath wherever you've landed. If you had the arms reaching overhead, Gently cascade them back down. And if you mounted to the back body, supported by your bolster, walk the elbows up slightly. Press into the forearms and the elbows and lift up. And we will walk our hands back. Find our seat bones once more. And lift the hips to bring the knees back out in front of you. Feet back out in front of you. I'm losing it, fam. Not sure what parts of my body are where, which means we're getting closer to Shavasana. Take a moment to sit up tall. On your exhale, slow and steady, roll the spine down. Take a moment here just to be long, spacious, supported. And again, if lying flat doesn't feel super great, maybe we take the feet wide, knees together, constructive rest. And just reacquaint with what it feels like to be back here, reclined, supine on your mat. Perhaps you'd like to close down the eyes or soften the gaze. And allow the breath to become slow and soft. And we'll find one more shape before our final, most precious, Shavasana. Inhale, reach the arms up long, good morning stretch. And on an exhale, walk the feet up and over to the left. And then maybe shimmy the shoulders up and over to the left. Moving into your banana pose. Maybe you cross one ankle over the other. Always an option to keep the hands at the sides. They don't have to be bound. This is my favorite way to end a yoga class. It's very nervous system regulating shape. Allow the hips to soften, the jaw, the brow, the neck. Everything just begins to melt here. Take one more full cycle of breath in your banana shape. And then begin to shimmy your way back through center. If you're like me, maybe you're sticky and sweaty, stuck to your mat. It's okay. Shimmy the head, the shoulders, up and over to the right. Maybe cross one ankle over the other. Find an arm variation that feels supportive to you today. And bring that space between the top teeth and the bottom teeth. Soften the tongue down to the bottom of the mouth. Notice if this has an impact on the tiny squinting muscles around the eyes. Bring a little bit of energy to the fingers and the toes. Make your way back through center. Uncross the legs. Take up space. Find your Shavasana shape, your perfect Shavasana. Maybe it looks different than mine, or even a shape that felt supportive to you on another day at another time. If the knees would like a little support, maybe you bring your bolster underneath the knees. You can even take a block under each knee on any height. Snuggle the shoulder blades beneath the body. Lift the back of the head, tuck the chin, and then release it back down, creating that long, beautiful back of your neck. Begin to soften down the gaze, close down the curtains of your eyelids. And allow the breath to become natural, to take up space. Feel the imprint of your spine on the surface supporting you. Allow the body, the whole body, to become heavy. Remembering all that's asked of you here is to be. This is your time to rest and digest the nutrients of your practice. Whatever's waiting outside the four corners of your mat will still be there, and that's okay. This is your well-deserved rest. The next time you hear my voice, I will be guiding you out of your Shavasana shape. You're welcome to stay in your Shavasana shape for as long as time allows. But if you're ready to take this practice off the mat and into the rest of your day, into your world, I invite you to deepen the breath, bringing awareness to the points of contact your body makes with the surface supporting you. Start to wiggle the toes, maybe brush fingertip to fingertip, or rock the head ear to ear. And when you're ready, take a big, good morning stretch. Reach out long, open and scrunch the toes, roll out the wrists. And on your exhale, hug knees to chest, keeping the eyes closed or the gaze soft here. Rolling to one side or the other, pillowing the head with the bicep, pausing in your fetal shape, the original asana. Taking a moment to recognize how far you've come. And when you're ready, gently make your way to a comfortable seat, moving mindfully here. Finding a seat that feels the best in your body, gives you the most space today. Notice how it feels to be upright, to be balanced. And we'll take a deep breath in together to celebrate our time spent here in community doing yoga and honor the decision you made to fill your cup. On your inhale, reach the hands up high overhead. Draw in the benefits of your practice. Seal them into the palms. And on an exhale, let it go. Draw the thumbs down to the heart space. Maybe gently dip chin to chest. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this practice and you leave feeling rested and digested. If you'd like to have more specialized practices like this one, feel free to let me know. And with that, I will jettison off into the universe, leave you in body, but not in spirit. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you again next time. Did it.